Right now, you're probably somewhere with the light on. And if I asked you to walk into a completely dark room, right now, alone, you'd hesitate. Just for a second. You know nothing is in there. You've been in that room 1,000 times. But some part of your brain isn't so sure. You do this every night. You reach for the switch before you enter. You leave a hallway light on. You pull your feet up onto the bed, just in case. And you never really think about why. Here's the thing. That flinch you feel in the dark, it's not childish. It's not silly. It is one of the oldest surviving pieces of software running in your head. It's older than every religion, older than farming, older than our species. The fear of the dark was already ancient before a single human word was ever spoken. The question is, what were we so afraid of? Let's go back, way back. Long before humans, before fire, before anything you'd recognize as a person. Picture a small furry creature, something like an early primate, sitting in a tree about 60 million years ago. It's tiny, it's soft. It has no claws worth mentioning and no fangs to speak of. And when the sun goes down, its whole world changes. Because the dark doesn't just hide things. The dark belongs to something else. At night, the predators come out. Big cats, snakes, things with better night vision than we could ever dream of having. For a small, slow, squishy primate, darkness isn't peaceful. Darkness is when you get eaten. So evolution ran a very simple test over and over across millions of years. The individuals who felt uneasy at night, who stayed alert, who found somewhere safe, who didn't wander around in the black, those ones survived. The relaxed ones, the chilled-out ancestors who thought the dark seemed like a nice time for a stroll, they didn't leave many descendants. Think about that. Every single one of your ancestors, all the way down the line, was cautious enough at night to live long enough to pass on their genes. You are the end product of 60 million years of paranoid winners. But it gets more specific and a little more disturbing, because there's a group of scientists who study exactly this, how predators shaped the human mind. And one of the big names here is a researcher named Robert Sussman, who worked on an idea that's become known as man the hunted. For a long time, we told ourselves a flattering story. We were the hunters. Big brains, sharp spears, top of the food chain. But dig into the actual fossil record, and a different picture shows up. Look at some of the oldest human ancestor skulls we've found, and they have holes in them, puncture marks. And when you line those marks up with the teeth of ancient leopards and big cats, they match perfectly. For most of our history, we weren't the hunters. We were the prey. And here's the part that gets under your skin. There's a famous early human fossil, a child, sometimes called the Tong child, discovered in South Africa. This little one lived over 2 million years ago. And when researchers examined the skull closely, they found damage around the eye sockets. The kind of damage made by the talons of a large eagle. A bird of prey most likely swooped down and carried that child off. So when you feel that cold prickle on the back of your neck in a dark room, that feeling that something could be watching you, something could grab you, you're not being irrational. You're remembering. Not with your thoughts, with your body. Your nervous system is running a program written by 2 million years of actually being hunted. And here's what makes this so important. This fear didn't just keep individuals alive. It may have built human society itself. Because think about what a small, weak, hunted animal has to do to survive the night. It can't fight the leopard. It can't outrun the cat. It has exactly one option. Stick together. Get close. Stay in the group. Darkness forced our ancestors into a tight circle, and that circle is everything. When you crowd together for safety at night, you start to cooperate. You start to share warmth and food and, crucially, you start to talk. Anthropologists who study early humans point again and again to one thing that changed us more than any tool: the campfire at night. Once we controlled fire, we had a little bubble of light in the ocean of dark. And the dark had a strange gift for us. It ended the workday. You can't hunt in the dark. You can't gather in the dark. So for the first time, our ancestors had hours with nothing to do but sit together, safe, staring into flames. And what do you do around a fire at night? You talk. You tell stories. Researchers who've studied modern hunter-gatherer groups found something wild. The conversations people have in the daytime are practical: work, complaints, logistics. But the conversations at night around the fire, those are the stories, the myths, the gossip, the imagination. Night talk is where culture was born. So the same darkness that terrified us also gave us the thing that makes us human: language, community, stories, the whole inner world. All of it grew in that little ring of firelight, huddled against the fear of what was outside it. And that fear never left. It couldn't. It's too deep, too old, wired in too far below the level of thinking. That's why a child is scared of the closet even after you show them it's empty. Logic doesn't touch this fear, because this fear is older than logic. That's why horror movies almost always turn the lights off. That's why a dark basement feels different from a bright one, even when you know, nothing has changed but the light. Your modern brain says it's fine. Your ancient brain says get to safety. And the ancient one usually wins. So here's the full picture. 60 million years ago, a small primate learned to fear the night because the night ate the careless. 2 million years ago, we were still prey, snatched by cats, carried off by eagles. We survived by huddling together in the dark. That huddle became the group. The group tamed fire. The fire gave us a safe circle of light. And in that circle, we started to talk, to tell stories, to become us. The fear of the dark didn't just keep us alive, it made us human. So tonight, when you get into bed and you feel that little pull to check the dark corner of the room, or you leave one light on down the hall, don't feel silly about it. You're not a coward. You're the latest link in an unbroken chain of survivors, 60 million years long. Every single one of them smart enough to respect the dark. The monster under the bed was real once, and a very old part of you has never forgotten. Sleep well.